Hello YouTube, this is Francis from Ragequit DGN bringing you yet another deck profile. I will be recording the Blau Kruger actual gameplay video on Sunday because Saturday is my birthday and I'll be meeting up with some friends on Sunday to hang out and do some filming. Hopefully it'll be edited and uploaded by next week. Sorry for the delay. School started recently and it's been really busy and difficult. Not many of us have time to do any recording and we don't even have time to play that much, so I will try my best to get stuff out as much as possible starting next week because I realize videos have been posted really slowly. But in compensation for now, I will be doing a Shadow Paladin deck profile, which is also requested. Anyways, this is set 5, keep that in mind. I won't be doing a set 4 video because I don't see the point with set 5 coming out in February already. But if you guys do want to see it, I do have the cards for it, so leave a request in the comment box if you want to see it and I will do one. Anyways, let's move on. This is the only starter Vanguard that's viable for Shadow Paladin right now because the only other option is the Evil Trumpeter, which is a vanilla. Very standard set 4 effect, right javelin, get Flash the Dark, and nothing to say there. Now for the trigger lineup, as you probably expected, 4 draws, 4 heroes, 8 crits. Why don't you run stand? Aside from my personal hatred, there's a very good reason in this deck that's not strategic. That's not strategic at all. It's simply because you don't have that many grade 2s that can hit hard. In fact, if you look at your grade 2 lineup, you have 3 3Ks and 2 AKs that even if they stand, they have a chance of not hitting for good numbers or hitting at all. So obvious reasons why stands are not viable. Grade 1s, you have 4 javelins for even more obvious reasons. So you want to use your starter Vanguard's effect, search for Blast of Dark, and you are good to go. You don't have to be worried about getting grade stuck at 2. Second effects is handy to search out your Phantom Blaster Dragons, which make this deck very consistent as a cross-ride deck. So there's also like Paint Painter, which we'll talk about later, that makes this deck consistent. But the searching effect comes in handy, so use it. Some people forget about it sometimes. You have 4 vanillas. Vanillas are good, nothing to explain there. So yeah, I'm not going to spend too much time and make this video 17 minutes long like the Black Kruger. Paint Painter, the reason why this deck is consistent. This deck actually has quite a bit of grade 1 space because they don't have that many good grade 1s. So running Paint Painter is not as punishing as running the other Soul Shark guys, Roller Paladins for MLB. Well, MLB can shove stuff under by himself, so he doesn't really need it. But you can shove Phantom Blaster Dragon from your hand into your soul if you happen to miss that particular ride, or you just want to get to 13k 1 turn faster. So very good. 6k is not good, but this deck doesn't really have strong rearguard hitting power anyways. So, and you have Gururubau, which is a personal choice. 9k attacker when you have a Shadow Paladin and Vanguard, and a 7k booster. I chose him over the evil version of Lien, which is the chemist girl, the rest and discard 1, draw 1, because your rearguards are already hitting really crappy. You really need the boosters, so you would never use Lien's ability really. Maybe like preferably you would want to ride javelin, so you won't even have that turn 1 thing where you ride it and then you use the effect to get something better. So Gururubau, good card. And then 3 perfect guards, because you do not need 4 in a cross-ride deck. You will rarely be guarding more than 10k for rearguard attacks, and you will rarely be guarding more than 20 for a Vanguard attack for 2 triggers. So why 4 triggers? Why 4 perfect guards? It's gonna clog up your hand, especially because you have so much draw power in this deck. Personal preference though. So if you want to run 4, by all means. Now we move on to the grade 2. We have 2 Blaster Darks. Obvious reasons, Blaster Dark is really bad in the rearguard. No effect, 9k vanilla, nobody likes it. The only reason you run 2 instead of 1 is you don't want to draw your only Blaster Dark on your opening hand and then your javelin becomes useless. So yeah, not much to say there. Macha, in my opinion, the second best card in this deck. Counterblast 2, call any grade 1 behind her. The two basic combos is 1, obviously call the vanilla, because then she can hit for 16, and on your grade 2 turn, 16 is always, sorry. If you don't get grade 6, it's always enough to force out a 10k shield, because there is no grade 2 that has higher than 11k. So, calling early Sharon really gives you the upper hand because your rear guards are hitting harder, probably harder than theirs because not everyone opens godly with good boosters and good grade 2s. So also the second combo is you can call Pain Painter and soul charge that Phantom Blaster Dragon early if you have your Phantom Blaster Overlord. Do not make the mistake of accidentally charging your only grade 3. I've done that once. Only once though. Only once. Don't make fun of me. Now we have, in my opinion, the best card in the deck, Nemain. And I will go slightly more in depth with Nemain. Why she's so good. Let's, first of all, her effect. Counterblast 1, super cheap. Discard 1 and draw 2. So for those who play Yu-Gi-Oh!, it's a pot of greed. This is your pot of greed. 3k is really weak because you have to compensate for that overpowered effect. But why is this card so good? Why do I think it's the best card in this deck? Now, think about how many times you've played, let's say, you play Nova Grappler, and how many times you're at your grade 2, and then they call 2 shitty little rear guards and 1 booster for their Vanguard, and then they poke you, and you can't block it because you don't have a 5k shield, you don't have a draw trigger, or the only thing in your hand is for that's 5k is a grade 2, and you have a grade 1 Vanguard, so you can't call that grade 2 because they went first. And you have to take that damage, although you can easily have guarded it with 5k shield. There is nothing more annoying than that. This solves all your problems by, first of all, she has 5k shield herself. If they poke you, bam, you get rid of her. And you don't care about her because after you use her effect, she's gone. She's useless. She's 3k. So you don't care about her. That's a 5k shield. Here, you can have it. Second of all, she allows you to get rid of the junk in your hand, that extra grade 3 that you don't need, and turn them into extra shields. So it's so easy to minimize damage early game, especially if you go first with Shadow Paladins, because this card just provides so much draw power and so much deck thinning that if you draw her in your opening hand, you are so set, unless you have to ride her, then in which case good luck because you have a 3k Vanguard. But this card is so good, especially because of this deck's defensive nature. Yeah, just nothing else to say. Then we have 4 Void Knights. Your standard 12k attacker, cool art. The only thing I want to point out is don't be too fussy about calling Sharon behind him. You might think hitting for 20k is very good, and you always have to do that, but realistically speaking, you're probably going to be playing against the end or MLB, in which case calling a 6k behind him and calling a 8k behind him makes absolutely no difference. So unless you know for sure that you're gonna be facing a 10k Vanguard, don't be too fussy about having to call Sharon behind him. Now, standard lineup: 4 and 3, 4 Overlords and 3 Dragons. 3 Dragons because you can search for this and you don't really need to write this. If you happen to draw him later in the game, you can always shove him under with Pain Painter. And 4 of this because obviously there's no searching mechanism for this, and you want to have him as your final form for the 13k. And for the slightly better effect, I guess you would rather use it because it's minus. This guy is a huge minus, and this guy, well, exception. Use this guy's effect if you know for sure they don't have a perfect guard. Even if they are 3 damage, if you know for sure that they burnt their only perfect guard last turn, go for it. And then, final troll card. I run this mage just for this surprise attack. You know, like, people don't really expect this. I really like it. It adds a lot more fun. It might not be the best card to run. In fact, I have been told many times that running a 4th copy of this is much better, simply because it's a 10k attacker as opposed to the 9. Also, it makes it more consistent. But this card is so fun. You know, you can accidentally call in the main and then end up drawing 2, or accidentally call a Pain Painter and then soul charge the Phantom Blast Dragon you have in your hand and make your Vanguard 13. There's just, of course you can call it Heel Trigger, that can be your argument, but it just, Vanguard is about fun, right? If I want a serious game, I would play Yu-Gi-Oh! So Vanguard's all about fun, that's why I run this, and if I go to a tournament, I would probably still run it just for the lulz. Speaking of Yu-Gi-Oh, I just recently got back to Yu-Gi-Oh after taking a break because I was so caught up in Vanguard. So for those who are actually interested in Yu-Gi-Oh videos, I might be doing some of those. Let me know if you would like to be seeing some Yu-Gi-Oh videos as well as Vanguard. Anyways, for now, this is the Shadow Paladin deck. I hope you enjoyed. Again, I will try to get videos out more consistently once school things settle down. Thank you for your patience. Please rate, comment, and subscribe, and leave any comments. Thank you.